There is a force within you, silent but unrelenting, waiting for a single command. It does not move with reason alone. It does not obey the idle wishes of a distracted mind. It awakens only when you set it ablaze with a burning desire so strong that no obstacle can silence it. This, my friend, is the starting point of all achievement. Not luck, not chance, not even talent, but desire. A deep, consuming, all-possessing desire. Throughout history, every man and woman who rose to greatness began with a single spark. It was not wealth, for wealth does not create desire. It is desire that creates wealth. It was not education, for libraries are filled with men of letters who never lifted themselves above mediocrity. It was not connections, for countless kings were born of obscurity. No, it was desire, a desire that burned so fiercely within them that the world itself was forced to bend. Desire is the starting point of Napoleon Hill's philosophy of success. Without it, the mind drifts like a ship without sails. With it, mountains crumble, rivers divide, and the impossible bends into possibility. But desire is not a passing thought. It is not a fleeting wish, whispered half-heartedly into the night. It is not the casual "I want" spoken by one who lacks conviction. Desire is the fire that consumes every doubt. It is the voice within that declares, "I will have this. I must have this. I cannot live without this." Every dream you have ever held in your heart will remain a dream, unless you breathe life into it through desire. For desire is the architect of faith. Desire is the fuel of persistence. Desire is the mother of invention. Desire is the very beginning of greatness. Consider Thomas Edison, who lit the world with the power of the electric bulb. Do you believe he succeeded because of luck? Do you believe 10,000 failures could be endured without an unquenchable desire? When he was asked how he managed to persist through so many setbacks, he replied, "I did not fail 10,000 times. I discovered 10,000 ways that would not work." What gave him this strength? It was not education, for Edison's schooling was minimal. It was not wealth, for he began with little. It was desire, a burning, consuming desire to bring light into the darkness. Look to Henry Ford, the man who brought the automobile to the common man. Every expert told him it could not be done. When he demanded an engine cast in a single block, his engineers insisted it was impossible. Month after month they returned, telling him it could not be done. But Ford's desire was unyielding. He commanded them, "Build it anyway. Stay at it until it is done." And they did. The impossible became reality, not because of knowledge alone, but because one man's desire refused to accept defeat. You see, the world steps aside for the man who knows what he wants and will not be denied. The world has no choice, for nothing is more powerful than a mind consumed by desire. But let us be clear, not every desire will suffice. The idle wish for wealth, the casual longing for success, the lazy daydreams of the undisciplined, these are but shadows, without power, without form. Real desire is something else. It is definite. It is focused. It is an obsession so strong that it occupies your waking thoughts, follows you into your dreams, and whispers in your heart until the goal is achieved. This is the kind of desire that builds empires. This is the kind of desire that shapes destinies. This is the kind of desire that Napoleon Hill declared to be the starting point of all achievement. Desire, when it is pure, definite, and unshakable, becomes a magnet. It draws toward itself every resource, every opportunity, every person, and every circumstance required to fulfill it. The universe itself seems to conspire in favor of the one whose desire burns hotter than the fires of doubt. But the question is this: how strong is your desire? For only the strength of your desire can determine the height of your achievement. The timid desire brings timid results. The weak desire yields weak returns. But the burning desire, the desire that refuses to accept anything less than victory, this alone brings greatness. Think for a moment of every man or woman who has changed the course of history. They were not satisfied with what the world offered them. They were not content to live as the masses lived. They were not willing to accept defeat as final. They wanted more, and they wanted it with such passion that the world itself could not resist. It was desire that drove Columbus to sail into an unknown ocean when others trembled at the edge of the horizon. It was desire that pushed the Wright brothers to rise into the skies when men laughed and called them fools. It was desire that led Abraham Lincoln, born in poverty and raised in obscurity, to lift himself to the presidency of a divided nation. And it was desire that carried Mahatma Gandhi, armed with nothing but his spirit, to break the chains of an empire without firing a single shot. Do you see the pattern? Every achievement that has ever uplifted humanity, every breakthrough that has ever shattered limitations, every act of courage that has inspired generations, they all began with desire. But desire alone is not enough. It must be definite. It must be precise. It must be directed toward a clear and worthy goal. Napoleon Hill wrote that vague desires are useless. To say, "I want success," or "I want wealth," is to whisper into the wind. The world does not respond to vague wishes, but the world bends before a definite, specific, burning desire. If you wish for riches, then decide the exact amount. If you wish for success, then decide the exact form it will take. If you wish for achievement, then carve the vision so clearly in your mind that it becomes more real than the present. For the mind cannot pursue what it does not clearly see. Write it down. Fix it in your heart. See it in your imagination until it becomes a living reality within you. Repeat it until your subconscious accepts it as truth. And when your subconscious accepts it, your entire being will move in harmony toward its fulfillment. This is why Hill declared, "Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve." But the conceiving begins with desire, and the believing begins with desire, and the achieving is born of desire. So ask yourself, what is the one thing you must have? Not what you idly wish for, not what would be nice to possess, not what you hope might happen someday, but the one thing your soul cannot live without. Find this desire, and you have found the key that unlocks all achievement. But beware, the road of desire is not smooth. It will test you. It will resist you. It will bring you face to face with failure, disappointment, and delay. The world will not hand you your dream without demanding proof of your determination. This is why weak desires perish in the heat of struggle, but strong desires grow stronger with every obstacle. It is the nature of desire. The fire that does not consume is no fire at all. The fire that grows hotter in the storm, that is the fire that can forge greatness. Remember this. Every defeat carries within it the seed of equal or greater opportunity. But only the man of burning desire can see that seed. To others, failure is the end. To him, it is merely a stepping stone. To others, rejection is death. To him, it is refinement. To others, delay is despair. To him, it is preparation. This is why desire is more than mere wanting. Desire is the difference between those who quit and those who rise. It is the dividing line between mediocrity and mastery. It is the root of persistence, the spark of faith, and the foundation of all power.